book is titled Everyone Loves You When You're Dead by the author Neil Strauss, who's a writer for Rolling Stone and other music magazines, all kinds of things he's been published in. This book is hilarious. It's great. I would definitely recommend you checking it out. It's got all kinds of excerpts from interviews that weren't published other places, like a ton of rock stars and like actors and stuff like that. It's pretty interesting. I'm going to start just a little bit at the beginning. I'm going to just go through a little bit of it. There's basically a couple of interviews. I wanted to go with the Chris Rock one, and when he interviews the band Korn. And yeah, let's get it started. Everyone loves you when you're dead. So Chris Rock, scene 1. Chris Rock sat alone in his room at the Ritz-Carlton in Philadelphia, where he was staying under the pseudonym Jimi Hendrix. CNN played silently on the television set. When a headline about investigators finding images of child pornography at Pee Wee Herman's house scrolled across the screen, Rock shook his head. "One of the funniest guys who ever lived," he sighed. "So many of your jokes and characters revolve around crack. Basically, whatever was going on when you started getting laid will stick with you for the rest of your life. So crack was just a big part of my life. Between my friends selling it or girls I used to like getting hooked on it. White people had the internet, the ghetto had crack. It's weird, too. Crack and the VCR and the portable handheld camera, all this shit just came out at the same time. And how are they connected for you? That whole being able to tape shit came out around the same time as crack? So you saw all these weird images of like guys' mothers blowing people on video for some crack. Or you go over to your friend's house and there's a porno tape of a girl you used to date blowing 8 guys. That's crack. I remember this rich kid from high school smoking crack in a cheap motel and hiring hookers off the street to smoke with him. That's crack too. I have never been to war, but I survived that shit. I lost friends and family members. The whole neighborhood was kind of on crack, especially living in Bed-Stuy in Brooklyn, man. And at the same time, in the end, what does this produce? Gangsta rap. This is one of the things that goes into the misogyny of rap. You see all these young guys with this weird distorted view of women because these women they used to hold on a pedestal are now doing all this nasty shit. Especially in LA. It's the home of the groupies. So then it's also got to be the home of the normal guys getting left behind. So you combine that and crack, and you see a bunch of guys with real fucked up views on women. That's how you get NWA. That's how you get a record like A Bitch Is a Bitch. That's how you get Tupac saying crazy shit on record. So, did you ever try it? The closest I ever got to doing crack was selling crack. Me and a friend of mine, we took these jobs at a camp just to get money. We were going to get paid $1,000 or $2,000 at the end of the summer and then take that money and buy some crack to sell. But of course, he got hooked on crack before we could go out and do it. And then right after that, God brought comedy into my life. I wonder what would have happened if you'd started selling it. Who knows what would have happened? I would have been dumb to have done it. I'm not saying if it wasn't for comedy, I'd be selling crack. But I remember sitting with my friends, cutting up coke like it was yesterday. Cocaine, lactose, vitamin B12, cook it up, crack. I am so lucky I never tried crack. The most I did was put some coke on my tongue. What gave you the strength and the resources to avoid it? I don't know if it was the strength and the resources. One of my brothers is an abuser of things, so he kind of saved my life by his example. People always get mad at athletes for getting high. I'm happy for everyone. Dwight Gooden saved my life. Darryl Strawberry saved my life because they always get punished. It's not like they get caught doing drugs and then they get a raise. What did you mean earlier when you said that God brought comedy into your life? It's not even about bringing me into stand-up. It was just about getting me out of Brooklyn, especially at night. Brooklyn's fine during the day, but at night, man, I would have probably have eventually tried some crack, just out of boredom. When the news ends and a golf tournament begins, Chris Rock grabs the hotel television remote. In case you say I was watching golf, he explains. As Rock switches channels, he discusses the differences between comedians and rappers. At the end of the day, he concludes, comedy is some nerd shit. I remember the last time I saw Tupac. It was after the MTV Video Music Awards. I had just done the HBO comedy special Bring the Pain, and at the last minute, MTV called me up to present. I wasn't quite big enough to host yet. So I get up on stage, I present some award, I try a couple jokes, and then I see Suge Knight in the audience. I said, "Hey Suge, don't kill me!" And the audience laughs, right? There was that kind of tension. Later on, remember they had that after party at Bryant Park? I'll never forget that party. Tupac was walking around with this parade of thugs who were carrying death row signs and posters. It was really aggressive. Yeah, it was a weird night. First, Eric B. comes up to me. He goes, "Yo, man, I don't know if you should have done that joke about Suge, man." He's like, "The spot is hot right now." It was Eric B., man, the original Thug Life. Eric B. is from around my old way. Eric B. was driving a Rolls Royce before he ever put out a record. That's all I've got to say. With rims. Nobody else was even talking about rims. My man was gangster. And he's telling me this? Then Hammer comes up and tells me the same thing. "Yo, man, don't mess with Suge." And Hammer is gangster, man. Have you ever been around Hammer? Are you serious? Hammer? Hammer ain't no punk, man. Hammer's more gangster than all these guys. He rolls with the hardest crew because it's a combination of jail guys and military guys, because Hammer was in the Navy or some shit. When those motherfuckers rolled up, you fucking listened. Then Tupac comes up to me and he says, "Hey man, that was kind of funny what you did." He shook my hand, and he had really clammy hands, like he soaked them in Kamei or some shit. And he said, "I saw you on HBO, saying that niggas and black people shit." He had half a smirk. I got the feeling that Pac was a minute away from punching me, or trying to punch me. His voice had a tone of menace to it. Yeah, but because I roll by myself and I don't wear gold or nothing, it actually keeps me out of a lot of trouble. Whereas if I rolled like Eddie Murphy 88, if I had the shades and the leather and I had 10 guys and a diamond ring over my gloves, I'd be getting into fights. Literally 3 days after that MTV party, Tupac was shot. What's weird is, a week after that, I had to go to LA to do videos, and everywhere I went, people were like, "Yo, man, you shouldn't have said that shit about Suge." I've never seen people fear a guy so much in my life. It was like the whole world had become high school, and these were gangsters, not just punks like me. That guy made some great records though. Suge Knight's name is on some of the best records ever. I remember interviewing Snoop Dogg right after he left Death Row, and he had no bodyguards, no security, nothing. Maybe it was like the end of Donnie Brasco, where Al Pacino knows he's going to die, but he doesn't blink. He just takes off his watch and all his rings, and he goes down to his death. That may be. Snoop recorded these songs about how Suge Knight was responsible for Tupac's death, and he wasn't scared. The weirdest thing about being really successful is that you are kind of ready to die. Especially now that I've got kids. I mean, I want to live. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not in fear of dying. I've made my mark. Death is the enemy of my family, of my wife and my daughters. But to me as an artist, it's actually my friend. That better be working. You're getting some good shit. Alright, I'm going to skip ahead to the Korn interview now. It was supposed to be the biggest, most mainstream press exposure the hard rock band Korn had gotten to date. The cover of Spin magazine. Yet 2 weeks after the interview, the band's management company, The Firm, called and offered me $10,000 not to write the article. Evidently Fieldy, the band's bassist, had gotten into a fistfight with Spin's creative director during the photo shoot, and the band didn't want to be on the cover anymore. An hour later, an editor at Spin called and said the magazine was thinking of killing the story because the band had called another staffer at the photo shoot a cunt. That's part of their charm, I explained. By that point, I'd spent enough time with these 5 misfits from Bakersfield, California to see them piss off just about everybody they crossed paths with. At the Fuji Rock Festival in Tokyo, Fieldy picked a fight with a member of Primal Scream by repeatedly insisting, "You look like my Uncle Bob!" An hour later, he was annoying garbage singer Shirley Manson by repeatedly sticking a toy keychain in her face and setting off various sounds without a word of explanation. Meanwhile, Korn singer Jonathan Davis was yelling at drum and bass star Goldie, "Fuck you, dick!" And Junkie XL, a dance musician from Amsterdam, turned down dinner with Korn because he thought the band members were assholes. But he was wrong. The guys in Korn aren't assholes. They just want some love. And when they don't get it, they act out. In his hotel room, raving drunk the night before the band's Tokyo performance, Davis stood on a chair and explained, "We go to these goddamn festivals, and our fucking goddamn band will love us. We get no fucking love at all. It's like we're in our own little world. We're not that goddamn scary. What the goddamn fuck? For once in my life, please, love me. I'm in Korn." Well, you guys weren't out there making friends today. "We're nothing like that, man." Leaps off of the chair. "Like what?" "Any of that shit." "Any of what shit?" "Any shit that's out there. There's so much rehashed shit. You see it around us at the festivals. Musicians fucking hate us. Fucking hate us." "Why is that so important?" "I don't know. What can you call it?" "Call what?" "Music. Our music. What can you call it? It's like the Clash. What the fuck can you call the Clash? Fucking pump, pop, punk, pop, reggae? That's a great band." "People call you heavy." "They do?" "I'm talking about your music." "Yeah, we just want to be heavy. That's what it is. All we want to do is bring heavy back into rock and roll because goddamn Ben's Folds 5 sucks. It's fucking Cheers music. With us, it's fucking special. We're all completely different." And there's an asterisk here for a footnote. Korn fun facts learned in Tokyo. Guitarist Monkey wet his pants on stage once. Fieldy won't touch stairway handrails because he's afraid of germs. Second guitarist Head drinks 6 packs of beer alone in his bathtub. And Davis refuses to touch or lick female genitalia. Footnote end. I'm a sissy, basically. Fieldy's hip-hop, Head and Monkey are Head and Monkey, and David Silveria's got tits. But he's a great drummer. All we have in common is that we're all freaks, we're all fucked up, and we're all on drugs. Later that night, Davis plays a track from his new album, then explains, "That song's about how I thought I'd become a rock star and not get picked on anymore, but my band still calls me a fag. I've noticed that. Everyone thinks I'm queer, and I kind of am, except for the dick part. At 2 a.m., the phone rings in my hotel room. Hello? It's Jonathan Davis. Know what I said about us being outsiders? Forget it. Why is that? Prodigy walked up to us. Great. We were downstairs drinking, and all of them were there, and there was skinny model ass everywhere. Were the models coming up to you? No, not at all. But Prodigy were? They were like, "What's up, guys?" Good for you. I think it's coming around, man. Want to come upstairs and cuddle? I'm wiped. Let's talk after the show tomorrow. Yeah, you're probably right. My bodyguard Loke told me I can't do coke tonight because I have to work tomorrow. Skipping ahead. When a rock band is at its peak on stage, there are few spectacles more powerful and awe-inspiring. That's one of the reasons why women throw themselves at bands afterwards. But what fans and groupies don't see is the mess that many bands are before going on stage. The day after Davis's rant about getting no respect, Korn was in a courtesy van on the way to the Fuji Rock Festival in Tokyo for its first live show in 13 months. Fieldy. I need a drink. Jonathan Davis. I've never seen you drink this early. You're fucking nervous. Fieldy. I threw up this morning. Everyone else is so nervous. Every time they think of the show, they get ill. I took a whole bar of Xanax. Monkey. My heart's beating 100 miles an hour, and I can't feel my hands. I'm not kidding. Davis. I've done 7,000 shows before, and I'm still fucking scared. I woke up at 5 this morning and wrote out the lyrics to every song and sung them from top to bottom. I feel sick. Head. Be strong, man. Like Ozzy. He'd just get up in the morning, drink 40 bottles of Jack, and be on stage. Davis. I'm not a man. I'm a bitch. Head. Yeah, actually, I've got anxiety for the first time. I had a dream that Keiko, the guitar tech, fucked up my pedal board and there were only 3 on there. Then I had a dream that you guys switched the songs around me and didn't tell me. I kept playing the wrong songs. Fieldy. Head's gonna fuck up in front of 50,000 people on stage. You could have major shit go wrong with your pedals. If one went out, you'd be fucked. Head. No, I wouldn't. Then I had a dream that Rosie O'Donnell was our accountant. She called me and said, I hate this fucking TV show crap. What I really want to do is get you your money. Monkey. Whose dick hurts from jacking off? Backstage, the band's nerves haven't calmed any. Fieldy. Let's all walk on stage together, like a gang. Know what I'm saying, brother? The whole posse. Everybody. Walk slow. It'll make you more confident. Davis. I can't walk slow. I'm too scared. Head. If I suck, will you tell me I was great anyway? Low, Korn's bodyguard. No, I'll tell you that you sucked and need to get in shape. The show, as predicted, is a disaster. Head cracks himself in the head with his guitar, and the black stage is so sun-baked that the entire band seems to be on the verge of passing out. Nonetheless, tens of thousands of Japanese kids, never having seen Korn before, go wild, even opening up a mosh pit, a rarity at Japanese shows. As the band exits the stage, Fieldy. We sucked, and you can print that. David Silveria. Are you going to write about how shitty we were? Really, you weren't so bad, but the end got loose. Silveria. I didn't get loose. I made it all the way through. The rest of the band fell apart. Half an hour later, Davis approaches me. What the fuck should I do? About what? I'm fucking through. No, you're not. Yes, I am. No, you're psyched. You did your show and you got the props you wanted. Yeah, I did good. What'd you say about the band? Loose? Everyone has good days and bad days. We're Korn. We're not ever loose. How the fuck do you think you got here? You gotta have your off gigs. Never. Never, ever, ever. So are you pissed at the band? It's not their fault. It's our first time in Japan. It's been a year since we last played. Fieldy's drunk off his ass and delirious, and Head thinks he's knocked himself half unconscious and goes to the hospital for stitches, and they give him a Band-Aid. Do you see what I'm stuck with here? It's 4 against 1. The following day, Davis breaks down, literally. He has an anxiety attack and spends the rest of the trip in bed with Loke babysitting. When I come up to visit, Monkey is standing loyally outside his hotel room. Monkey, I feel so bad for Jonathan. I just massaged his back, but sometimes I just don't know what to do for him. Inside the room. How are you feeling? A bit better. Has this happened before? My first anxiety attack was like 5 years ago. Too many damn mini-thins. A diet pill containing ephedrine that truckers and others used to stay awake. Drinking, and that gave me anxiety. They had to get Lope for me. With alcohol, I get too drunk and wake up and it's like withdrawal. I get the shakes. I'm sweaty. I'm freaking the fuck out. And then the stress. Full-on stress. My stomach's just spitting out acid in my throat. But I guess everything's got to be dramatic or it wouldn't be fucking good. Or you could just stop drinking. My psychiatrist says he should be helping me, but he's just looking for ways to get me high. Maybe I should start taking antidepressants or go to AA. When the band's all joking around, the only way I feel comfortable with them, like I can join in, is when I'm drunk. Let me know if there's anything you need tonight. It's okay. I'm sorry I can't kick it in Tokyo with you tonight, dog. I'll make it up to you. I'll take you to Bakersfield. Loke, privately to me. I'm doctor, psychiatrist, brother, bodyguard, and father to these guys. Everyone's scared of them, but really, they're just kids. And that's just a small part of Neil Strauss's book, Everyone Loves You When You're Dead.